G'day, welcome back. In this short video, I'm going to show you how to code your own jewellery using Tinkercad and a laser cutter. Let's get started. So if you've seen Tinkercad, you might have noticed that there's a new Codeblocks section, which is pretty cool. It allows you to use code to design different little projects. In this case, we've got, you can see the user face, we have our blocks on the left-hand side, all the way on the left, and then we have our shapes. I've pre-populated my code so that you can watch the design get made. But ultimately, it's just following a set of instructions that you create, and it's quite intuitive once you get the hang of it as well. It'll press play and it will run through that code and it will design something of your choosing. The nice thing about this is you can adjust the variables as well and therefore make bigger or smaller projects. Exporting as an SVG, because an SVG is what we're going to use for laser cutting. I'm going to try and print that file straight away and see what happens. You notice from the PDF it looks red, which is a good sign. But unfortunately, when I opened it up in my laser cutting software, it came up in black, which means it's not going to cut, it's just going to engrave. Instead, what I've had to do is open it up in another vector software, which is in this case Inkscape. You might otherwise use Adobe. What I've done here is I've checked, make sure I can see the file. I'm going to make sure it's red because we use red for cutting, and I'm just seeing that the file is still there. Make sure that you set the line weight to 0.001 for cutting, and then resave that file as a PDF. So saving that as a PDF will allow us to now cut it with my software. All right, now I can open up the PDF and I should see red lines, which is a good sign again, just like before. I'm going to print it straight to our laser cutter, which is an LST, press print, and hopefully what comes up, I've got to open up my software, and I should be able to see, yes, this time I have red lines. Red lines means it will cut. I can actually see how long it's going to take. And in this case, I believe it's about 20 seconds to cut out this one piece. Now, unfortunately, I didn't record my cutting of this project. So here's one similar that I've also created in Tinkercad using some geometric shapes. Pretty cool, this time using some ply. Now, after cutting out, I added a few jump rings, some e-hook pieces, so that I could actually turn them into earrings. And I think they turned out pretty good. A nice little finish, pretty solid, just in time for Christmas as a gift. Now, stick around and I'll walk you through the code. Hopefully this will give you a decent explanation so you can make your very own little projects as well. To start with, what I did was added a star right at the top, and I can choose the radius of this star, both the inside and the outside. You can choose the height as well. From there, I wanted to cut out the inside of the star so that I could add a jump ring through it. And so I've made a whole star, which is slightly smaller, with a smaller inner radius, and then I grouped both of those. Obviously rotated them so they could be facing up. Next, I added in a triangle. I adjusted the height, and then added again. I added a hole, which was slightly smaller, doing the same kind of rotation so that it would fit within. A bit of manipulation here, a bit of experimentation as well. I repeated this process again, but this time having a triangle a little bit lower. As you can see here, I moved it down. I then expanded it, made it a bit bigger. And then what I've done is cut a hole out again so that we could have a hollow triangle, as you see with the final product. Just grouping it again allows it to actually complete that cut. And then finally, we've added a little box at the bottom. Following the same process, I've made a cutout at the bottom as well. Hope this tutorial helped. If you have any questions, just ask them below in the comments. If not, give it a go. See if you can make your very own jewellery using Tinkercad code.